Hi, I'm Sephera Giron, and thank you so much for popping by to check out your horoscopes for the last half of November. I'm going to be splitting it up by sign, so you can click on your sign. You don't have to sit through everyone else's stuff. So go on YouTube, click on your sign, it's all good. But for now, the general idea of what is going on is that Mercury went retrograde on Friday. And you should be used to this Mercury business by now, right? It goes retrograde 3 times a year for about 3 weeks at a time. And for some people, it's a total and complete hell. For other people, it's a complete and total heaven. It depends where the planets are in your chart and your attitude. Although there's a lot of times where we can go in with a fantastic attitude and we still have a lot of troubles and issues trying to get things done. Because the Mercury energy, where Mercury's retrograde, but it actually isn't. It's not standing still or even like it's just sort of the phrase we say for when things are going wonky. Mercury is the planet of communication, right? And so, if Mercury's retrograde, you can guarantee that some communication things are going to get screwed up. So just put on your patience hat. I know that's really hard for some of your signs, but for some of you, it should be a piece of cake to be patient with all the crap that's flying around over the next few weeks. Okay, so things you can expect during a Mercury retrograde is people not getting your messages, emails getting lost, being late for work, being late with assignments, pieces missing from documents, getting to the airport and forgetting your passport, driving along and the wheel falls off your car, your refrigerator blows up, your computer gets a virus, all these things. And I know all these things happen every day in no matter what day it is. And so all the naysayers will be like, well, that happens and it doesn't have to be Mercury retrograde. And you're right, it doesn't. But it just seems like these types of things get magnified during Mercury retrograde. And quite frankly, doesn't it feel better to blame it on Mercury retrograde when you screw up than to just admit you screwed up? Anyways, so Mercury retrograde, hang on to your hats. That's from November 16th to December 6th. So we'll get out of that just in time for Christmas. And yet, while Mercury was going retrograde, Venus went direct. Because we did have a bit of a Venus backsplash there for a while too. A lot of you may have noticed some reconciliations and people coming back and wanting to try again in relationships. And maybe you got called by an old job to come back and work for them out of nowhere. All this crazy stuff happens during a Venus retrograde. And now we're back to normal. We're back to just plain old Venus and Libra. And Venus and Libra is a good place to be because Libra has a lot of nice ideas about love. Libra is pretty fair and trustworthy. And so Libra, for the Venus to be in Libra, there'll be a lot of romance and you just got to be careful that you're not putting up a bit of a wall for all you people who have been hurt in the past by other relationships. You may have a chip on your shoulder or a wall up and you may not even realize it because you're just protecting your heart. You don't want to get screwed again, right? So you just have to have a more open heart, open mind, and be aware of how you present yourself to people and ask for advice from your friends. Because really when Venus is in Libra, everyone wants to be in love. Love is love. And so if you're single and looking for romance, Venus in Libra is a pretty good time to get that happening or get the ball rolling or maybe try to meet someone. But with that Mercury retrograde, be careful how you talk to them. This isn't the time to try out those new jokes because, until you get to know someone, because things really can get misunderstood, I guess. Also, we have the full moon in Gemini coming up on November the 23rd. And we all know full moons are a great time to just self-reflect, figure out what are we doing with our lives, what's happening, did we get all the stuff done that we had tried to start in the new moon, is it done by the full moon? It's only 2 weeks, maybe your projects took longer. And since the full moon is in Gemini, Gemini is an air sign, much like Libra. They're both air signs. So a lot of I don't want to say volatile, though it can be that too. But like a lot of energy of just like whooshing around. Like think of tornadoes and hurricanes and blowy things. And depending on your sign, I'm an air sign, so I'm right in there swirling in the air. But, if you're water, you might be having some tidal waves or ripples. Could be a tidal wave, could be a little ripple, all this stuff happening, right? So think about who you are, what you want, and get some of that full moon energy happening. You may want to put some crystals out on the windowsill and get them charged up with full moon energy. You may want to do some spells. You want, especially spells around closure. If you've broken up with someone and they're still in your head, light some candles and blow them away. Wish them light and love. Usually it's better, when you're breaking up with people to try and have, not focus too much on how much you hate them, but just wishing them well in the future. Just because you don't want any backsplash, right, of your own stuff in your own life. So yeah, so a lot of stuff coming up as always. Anyways, so go click on your sign and see what's happening. Also, what's a good rule of thumb whenever you read, like if you're reading your horoscopes in the newspaper or whatever as well. Do people have newspapers anymore? I'm not even sure. But you can read your sun sign, your rising sign, and your moon sign, and read all three, and that gives you a more complete kind of picture of what's happening. So don't forget, these horoscopes are for the next couple weeks, and we'll see you soon.